Hello, my name is Monica Franco, and I'm a Regional Director on the Hospitality Division. It's my pleasure today to announce Zofia Sofer as one of our Personal Touch recipients. We had hired a new housekeeper to our team at the Hilton Garden Inn, Louisa, and she had been going through some hard times personally in her own life, but having an even harder time adjusting to being on a new team, which is a big team with the Hilton Garden Inn and Davis Conference Center attached. And so just some bumps and struggles here and there, having lunch on her own and doing breaks on her own. Zofia noticed a few different times kind of just how she wasn't meshing or blending as well with the team as everyone else. And on one particular day, she noticed that Louisa was having a really hard time when she walked past her. And so the conference center had just finished a large event, and she went and plated up some food for Louisa, went out and found her and just had her come and sit down with her for a few moments and just said, let's just talk about your day. We don't have to talk about anything in particular, but just tell me how you're feeling. Let's just kind of letting her know that you're not alone. And that day passed. A few days later, Louisa was in my office and wanted to tell me just about the struggle she was going through and that she was actually thinking about quitting. And at that time, Zofia had just walked past, and she immediately stopped and jumped up and gave Zofia a big hug and looked at me and told me that Zofia was the reason why she wasn't going to leave, because she had taken the time the other day to sit down and invite her to lunch and just made her feel like she was at home, that she had a friend here, a family member, and just made her feel comfortable. And because of her genuineness and everything that she did, she was going to stay because of her. From her interaction with Zofia, she was like, maybe I should give it another shot, but she was just feeling like, I don't know if I can work here. I don't know if this is the right fit for me. And then I think seeing Zofia helped validate that, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot. Like you could tell she was already uneasy about what she was gonna do, what her decision was, and then I think seeing her solidified, like, no, there are good people in this world, and I'm gonna stay here because of how she made me feel. That love, that care. Like Louisa says, Zofia's like a sister to her, and they didn't even know each other, but that connection that she had with her is what made her wanna stay, because she realized that even though you're having a bad day, there's still people in the world that will stop and take the time to just find out how your day is, and it's not just about getting rooms cleaned or servicing a banquet or just getting the job done, that it's important to remember that people matter. And so that's what it was. Louisa just jumped up and gave her this big hug and said, it's because of her why I'm gonna stay. She's just so genuine and she's so caring, and because of her, I wanna continue my employment here. Which was a relief for us, not only because we wanted Louisa to stay and we didn't want her to leave, but I think as a colleague and as a mom and just as a person, I loved seeing the interaction between the two of them, because you could just see that they had this connection with each other, and that one small moment in Zofia's day to take the time and do something as small as making a plate of food for someone and asking her to just sit down and just tell her, like, we don't have to talk about anything else other than just how's your day? What's going on? What color is the sky? Whatever it may be. And I love that. Zofia is just one of those people that when she's saying hello to you, she's not saying hello to you just because she has to. She's saying hello to you because she genuinely cares and wants to say hello to you, and she wants to know, how was your day? How was your birthday? How was your holiday? How was your vacation? When she's stopping and taking the time to ask you those things, she's asking because she really genuinely wants to know. And that's why I love her. Zofia, you are simply amazing. I love everything about you. I love that when you smile and say hello to someone, it's because you truly mean it and because you actually care about what's happening in their lives and their world. Congratulations on being a Personal Touch winner. I'm so beyond happy for you and beyond blessed and honored that I've had an opportunity to work with you side by side and see how you are every day of your life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Danielle Harris. I work at the corporate office in the AP department, and I am excited to nominate Dan Hunt for a Personal Touch Award. So I was on my way to work one morning and my car broke down. Yeah. And I called my boss to let her know that I was going to be late and that I had broken down. And Dan texted me and asked me if I needed anything or if he needed to come and get me. And I texted him and let him know that the tow truck was on the way, and he just told me to let him know when the tow truck got there and he would come and get me. So I let him know that the tow truck had arrived and to come and get me, and he was there in about 5 minutes, picked me up from the side of the road, and took me back to work, and took me home that day and asked me if I needed him to come pick me up in the morning, which I did because I didn't have another car. And the shop told me it was going to be about a week, and he took me to work every day and brought me back home. And I lived in Magna at the time, and he lived in Taylorsville, or he lives in Taylorsville, and he would come get me every morning and take me to work and take me back home every day. So I really appreciated him for doing that. He didn't have to do that, and he did that, and I appreciated him for that. So during the week that my car was in the shop and he was giving me rides, I had confided in him about the relationship that I was in and that I wanted to leave but didn't think I could because I couldn't do it by myself or couldn't afford it by myself. But he gave me the encouragement and just told me that he would be there for me and that he would help me with anything that I needed, because I didn't have anything. I just had my bed and my dresser and my personal belongings. Was scared because I didn't have anything and I didn't know if I would be able to afford it. And I found an apartment in my price range, and he actually went and helped me look at it and make sure that it was something that would be safe by myself. And that's when he told me that he would help me with the things that I needed. As soon as I got into the apartment, he had made a post on social media just letting his friends know that he had another friend that needed pretty much everything for the apartment. And it was crazy how many people were commenting on that post. I was just really grateful when I saw all of everybody. They don't know me, you know? So it was just very heartwarming to know that I wasn't by myself, and Dan did that for me, and I'm very appreciative of him. I ended up getting a table and a couch and kitchen supplies, TVs, side tables, lamps, anything for the house, you name it. And not only did his friends help me with that, he would go and grab everything. And he helped me bring everything to the apartment and unload, and he even helped me clean and just get everything together. Dan, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't be able to be where I am today without your help, and I really appreciate it. You mean the world to me.
I'm Rachel Davenport. I'm the Executive Director at Legacy Village of Castle Pines, and it's been my pleasure to nominate Shyla for the Personal Touch Award. Shyla cares for our residents. She calls them all her grandmas and grandpas. She really connects with each of them and with their family members and finds ways to brighten their day and connect with them just on a deeper level. This is one example where she's gone above and beyond to just connect families with their loved one. She's really good about when families visit. She's good about sharing with them things that their loved one does while they may not be visiting. So this was a great opportunity that she was helping them to connect even though they couldn't be together. Hank lives with dementia, which affects his ability to remember short-term things. And one thing that he's always held so strongly to is his love for his wife and his daughter. It was really touching to see them together. They walked around, they held hands constantly when Pam visited. They laughed, and they just enjoyed spending a lot of time together. Shyla's great with all of the residents, but on this Valentine's Day, she really went above and beyond to help create a special moment for Hank and Pam. Shyla gathered art supplies, a book of love poems, and sat with Hank while he flipped through the pages to find the perfect poem for his wife, Pam. Then she took some time with him to write that poem in the card and make it perfect. He would walk around reading the card as if he were reciting it to her right in front of him. We were able to get that card to family, who presented it to Pam, and she was able to read that and have one last connection with her husband before she passed away. Hank wasn't aware at the time, but his wife was actively passing with end-stage pancreatic cancer. Shyla's really great with everyone, but had she not taken the time to work with Hank and create this opportunity for him to connect one final time with his wife, they very well could have missed out on it. Unfortunately, Hank's wife, Pam, passed away just a few days later. So her taking the time really gave them one last chance to connect. Shyla, it's been a pleasure working with you since our community opened. It's been great getting to know you and work with you side by side. Thank you for all that you do. It's my pleasure to celebrate this award with you.
I'm Monica Franco, Regional Director, Hospitality, and it's my pleasure to announce Miss Christine Baylor as a Personal Touch recipient. There was a guest we had staying here one night when Christine was working the desk, and she came in and asked if she could get a room. When she came, it's not an unusual question for someone at the front desk. Christine just noticed something was off about this guest. So she simply just stopped and asked her, "Is everything okay?" And the guest just said, "Yes, I'm fine, I just need a room." Christine continued to probe and just wanted to make sure she was fine. And the guest just kept telling her repeatedly, "I'm fine, I just need a room." So Christine gave her the hotel information, got her checked in, and just let her know that I'm here all night until 11 p.m. If you need anything, just give me a call. A little bit later, the guest came back downstairs and was speaking to Christine. And Christine once again probed with her and said, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And the guest finally started slightly opening up to Miss Christine. A little bit later, she came back down again, and Christine asked her once again, just a simple question, "Is everything okay?" Carrie finally started opening up to Christine and started telling her that she was just leaving an abusive relationship, and started showing her the scars and bruises on her neck and her arms, and explained to her that she was here at the hotel because she was finally ready to leave. So Christine kind of just took that opportunity in that moment to explain to her that while she was with us at the hotel, she was going to be safe and everything was going to be fine. She also stressed the importance to Carrie that it started with her, that she had to be strong first and she had to believe in herself and self-love. Christine even went as far as giving her cell phone that night to just say, "Even though I'm leaving, it doesn't mean you still can't call me if you need anything while you're here." Over the next couple of days, they went back and forth, and Carrie would come down and tell Christine just about what was happening in her life, the new steps she was taking to start a new path, what was going on. And finally, on Carrie's departure day, she came up to the front desk, and I had just come up by chance to help out as they were busy. And I asked Carrie, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And she simply told me, "Nope, I'm gonna wait for Christine no matter how long it takes." So I said, okay, and I helped the next guest. About 10 minutes later, Christine was still on the phone with another guest, and I asked Carrie once again, "Are you sure there's nothing I can help you with?" And she said, "Nope, I just want to talk to Christine, but in the meantime, I want to tell you how amazing she is, and I want you to know everything that she's done for me while I've been here." And I simply just smiled, and I could see that there was a strong connection going on between the two of them. Christine hung up the phone, and Carrie immediately just started thanking Christine for giving her the strength and the power to carry on and not turn around and go back into that situation that she had just left days before that. She even went as far as saying, "I wish I could just take you with me on my journey." And Christine just reminded her, "Carrie, you got this. God will direct you and you're gonna be fine." And it was just watching these two women interact and seeing two strong women praising each other and telling each other that they're gonna be fine was amazing. Christine walked Carrie to the door, and I could just tell that they didn't want to part ways or leave each other. After Carrie walked out the front door, Christine started walking back to the front desk, and I could tell she was sad. And I asked her, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And she simply just looked at me and said, "I was just there at the right time, at the right place to help another human." And it was just at that moment I was like, I have to know everything that's going on, because you could just feel the love in the room at the time. So a few weeks later, I reached out to Carrie, and she's the one that told me about how amazing Christine was and why she made such a huge impact in her life, not just her stay at the hotel, but her life. And for that, I'm utterly grateful for. Miss Christine, thank you for being so amazing and being the person that you are and loving people no matter what, whether it be good, bad, ugly, dirty, blue, green. I love you, and so do all those around you that work with you. Congratulations on being a personal touch winner this year. I can't think of a better person that deserves it.
My name is Jenny. I work at AccuPharm Pharmacy, and it's my pleasure, my absolute pleasure, to nominate Brenton today for the Personal Touch Award. Last February, my husband and I were staying in a cabin on Brighton Ski Resort, and my husband left the cabin on the snowmobile to drive down to the parking lot to pick up something, and on his way back, the snowmobile slipped on some ice and tipped on top of him and shattered his leg. Brad was laying there in the snow with his broken leg and wasn't able to get his cell phone out of his pocket to call us, so he decided to just scream for help, and he ended up screaming for about 15 minutes trying to get anyone to hear him down in the parking lot. And by some miracle, there was a ski patrolman coming down late from the mountain and saw him and came and helped him and got his phone and called us and called an ambulance, and we got him to the hospital. My first thought was to text Brenton and get things figured out with work, and within a day he was there at the hospital with treats to support us and make sure we were doing okay. After Brad was released from the hospital, that week while he was recovering, he had to go back to the hospital multiple times, one time in an ambulance, because the pain was just so bad. It was hard to manage at home by ourselves. Brad is self-employed. He owns his own welding business. And we were very concerned, obviously, when he injured his leg, that how we were going to handle this. And Brenton was well aware of our situation, and he came to our rescue and said that he would help us in any way that he possibly could. So one of my biggest concerns was trying to figure out how we were going to pay the bills, especially after all of this recovery and during the recovery, and as well as how was I going to take care of Brad while he was in this state, as well as go to work and keep my job. So Brenton looked into all the paid time off that I would have and rearranged it so that I would be able to take a full week off with Brad, and then a half days for another week. It was a really stressful time for my family, and it was such a relief to have that time all worked out, and with Brenton helping to make sure that I was able to stay home with Brad, as well as continue to be paid during that time. So at AccuPharm, it's always felt like very much like a family environment. And I think that's 100% owed to Brenton. I was talking to a coworker the other day, someone who doesn't work quite one-on-one or as close as I do with Brenton, and she literally said that she thinks that he would cut off his right hand for anyone in the pharmacy because he just cares that much about the people that work there. and I especially have felt that. I've worked with him for 8 years now, and this is not the first crisis my family has gone through, and he's been there through all of that, especially through this time with Brad, with my husband being injured. He multiple times would try to just say, do you need to come sit down in the office and talk, just talk it out, or cry, just let it out, just talk to me and we can work through this, and I'm here for you if you need anything. Brenton, I know that this is not your thing to be on the spot either, and it's obviously not mine, but you deserve this award, and you should have won it 100 times over by now. And I just want to thank you for being there for me and for everybody in the pharmacy and making it really feel like a home.
My name is David Seaman. I'm the Chief Engineer with the Embassy Suites Hotel in South Jordan, Utah. So here at the Embassy Suites, we've had an amazing year with our personal touch stories. One of these stories I'd like to tell is the story of Ace and the Moores. On one day when our front desk agent, Brenna, was working at the front desk and going through her daily arrivals, she noticed she got a phone call from Mr. Moore, and this phone call was to let us know that the guest would be checking in a day late than when they were scheduled to arrive. Brenna, with her caring and engaging nature, she engaged with that conversation and found out that the Moores were actually coming in for their adoption of their baby. And this baby, his name is Ace, and Ace was born on the day that they were supposed to arrive here at the hotel. But because of all the snowstorms and being behind, that forced them to miss the birth of Ace by about 2 hours when they arrived at the hotel. Brenna was able to reach out to the different departments and let them know the situation that we had here in the building. Upon hearing that, myself and my engineering team, Doug, we decided to take it upon ourselves to do something that we can as far as the engineering side of things. And so with that, we drew up the plans, we went and purchased the materials, and we built a diaper cake. With that diaper cake, it was really amusing to watch, to see two guys, beards, pretty rough guys building a diaper cake. It was a really neat moment, and a moment that I was able to be a part of with one of my team members. We also had other departments that were able to get involved. One of those departments was our housekeeping department, and Atil from our housekeeping. She noticed after cleaning the rooms while Mr. Moore was in there, that this was a room that did not have a bathtub. It was a shower, walk-in shower set up with the room. She noticed this, and she thought that they would need somewhere to bathe their baby for the first time. So Atil left on her lunch, and she drove over to Walmart and purchased with her own money a baby bath that they could set in the shower to be able to give Ace his first bath. It was a very, very precious moment, and something that the parents were extremely grateful for. After that, we then had our front desk agent, Sydney. She was very creative and very thoughtful, and she was trying to create something that this family could take back with them and cherish for a long time. She came up with some wonderful custom onesies, and these onesies we had an Embassy Suites onesie, she had a Utah onesie with the mountains. It was a very, very beautiful thing to see the look on the mother's eyes when she received those presents. It was very neat. The final thing that we were able to do for the family was Mike, our food and beverage manager, was able to create a first date moment for them down in our restaurant. Mike took our tables and he created an environment there that was touching and personalized for their family. He labeled the table with rose petals, candles, had it draped with a beautiful cloth, and was able to give them that moment that they needed. Within this building and this team that we have here at South Jordan Embassy, we take it to the next step. We take it to a step to where we communicate between the different departments, and this is something that we encourage our staff to do. I feel extremely confident that my team members will have these moments here in this building. For me personally, this has affected me more than just inside this building, and it goes to my family, it goes to my personal life, and that's where it's affected me the most. This team has been an amazing team to work with. They are all on board and everybody owns it. They are the epitome of personal touch. Yes, this was an amazing moment to be a part of. Instead of just being a one individual or one department working with a guest or an associate, we were able to take all the departments and think outside of the box. To be a part of something like that, to where a team comes together and creates these memories, it's magical.
I understand all the things Dave just said, put a huge bullseye on our back. Come and get it.